the next family-related fan theory goes to Brainiac 5 is the descendant of Gear. And this is based on the fact that Brainiac took over Gear's body, Richie Foley's body, in the Static Shock crossover Justice League episode. And Brainiac 5 mentions in the future that his code was passed down biologically. They both have blonde hair, and Gear was possessed for a great length of time, so I guess that would give Brainiac enough time to figure out genetics, but I mean...
Well, it's a funny episode because chronologically, it definitely came out around the same time as Twilight of the Gods, with the Brainiac Darkseid, and that was his last appearance before the Cadmus arc.
That's true, yeah.
So, yeah, this one was always a weird continuity.
Well, we find out later that he's been inside Lex for years, so, I mean, he already knew at least how to remain dormant inside someone.
If I remember right, doesn't Gear get kind of a blue tinge to his face?
He gets, just kind of Brainiac's computer-y.
He's got the logo on his forehead, yeah. Well, yeah, and Brainiac 5 definitely has blue skin and blonde hair. I know in the comic books he's from a planet called Kolu, I think, or Kalu. Brainiac in the cartoon was always from Krypton. Yeah. He definitely had no relation to Kolu, but yeah, the comics, Kolu is like an actual flesh and blood, physical alien planet, and even the classic Brainiac was from there.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's probably the only reason why they even made that be... They wanted to just use Brainiac 5 and then said to themselves, like, oh, whoops, we already said that the original Brainiac is not an alien, he's just a computer from Krypton, so now they have to figure out a reason for why Brainiac 5 exists. And my theory on this theory is just that they decided, they just did a quick throwaway, that's why he's here kind of a thing, and now people are trying to figure out who is the reason, and I don't know.
Right. Yeah, well, it makes sense because Brainiac 5 was, an established comic book character for years, and Richie Foley is from the Static Shock comics by Dwayne McDuffie, but I don't think he became Gear until the animated series. Yeah, I don't think he was ever Gear in the comics, but there was a milestone character called Hardware that hung out with Static a lot. Static and Icon and Rocket and all those milestone characters. But
I guess we should mention that all of these fan theories are way too complex and they're just people thinking way too hard. I mean, I'm surprised that I haven't come up with half of these on my own based on how much I think about this stuff. But I don't know.
I think the Brainiac 5 one's pretty unlikely. I don't think Richie Foley started a lineage.
Yeah. I mean, he's so, the only other time we see him other than on Static Shock is, when I guess it's still on Static Shock, but in the future Batman Beyond episode, he's just an adult kind of fat Gear, and that's, there's no evidence of, I have part of Brainiac in me still, or anything like that. But I mean, obviously they probably didn't think of that at the time.
And it could have laid dormant, just like it did with Luthor.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's enough about that.
Hey guys, Ted here. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on upcoming content from the Watchtower Database.